Hey guys, Jacqueline Fernandez here at the Alert Center. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, in true fashion, this Tuesday, we're talking about a First Alert 6 scam school scam to make you more aware of. And this one really does pull on heartstrings, my goodness. So I was just chatting with our Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau about this grandmother scam. So Josh, I'm going to let you kind of take over from here and let our viewers know just how awful these scams can really get.
We received a report to Scam Tracker from a Lincoln woman who was filing the report on her grandmother's behalf. Her grandmother, unfortunately, had been duped by a fake floral business called Star Luck Flowers. And the reason she found Star Luck Flowers was that she Googled where to find flowers for her daughter's funeral. And Starluck Flowers appeared at the top of those search results. So she clicks into this website, goes through what feels like a normal process. She provides her credit card information, tells them where the flowers need to go. She's provided with a confirmation number, but the day comes and the flowers never arrive. And when she tried to call back, she could only reach music, one of those music tones that a lot of us are familiar with when we call for anything from, medicine to flowers. And there's no way to speak to anybody. She tries a couple different times, ultimately loses $100 to this scam. $100 is a lot of money to a lot of different people, but what's more is that she didn't have flowers at her daughter's funeral as a result of this experience. So you really can't put a price to what that must feel like. Typically, when we receive scam tracker reports, some of that context is removed. So even though we know that there are some purchases and transactions that occur around things within the calendar, if it's not part of the report, we do not report that, right? But this person felt like it was important enough to include the context, which is why that we're sharing it today. The website for this company is starluckflowers.com. It is still active as of this morning. There is a BBB business profile for the scam operation, which claims a Las Vegas address. But if you look up that address, it is just a mail forwarding company. There's not a real storefront. There's no flowers. And there have been nearly 800 complaints lodged against this enterprise in the past 12 months, many of which seem to involve very similar types of experiences from consumers paying for flowers that don't exist. So we bring this information forward because we think it's important for the public to know that, even when you are looking for something that seems as simple as securing flowers for an event, you really do need to do your due diligence and ensure you're working through a company that is, in fact, a company. And unfortunately, this person went through this experience and learned that even at the top of your search results, there are fraudulent enterprises.
Yeah, this is just awful. I mean, clearly this pulls on all of our heartstrings, Josh. And, I mean, why would scammers think of something like this to do to really, hurt somebody? I mean, especially a grandmother who's trying to buy flowers for her daughter's funeral. I mean, it's just awful. So we have to keep in mind that, even in these more touching situations, scammers don't care.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the scammers, when they put together this operation, didn't intend to target people down on their luck. But the reality is that these decisions that you and I make, people make in life, are not made in vacuums, right? There are very real reasons why people go to secure flowers. There are reasons why people go to secure, tax preparer specialists and everything in between those two extremes. And when you are not actually a business, that is incredibly concerning, and it's frankly unacceptable that it's something that all of us as consumers need to navigate. But as 2026 is right around the corner, it does seem like we hear about scams that seem to impact just about everything in our lives.
Right.
We Jacqueline, you and I have talked this year about scams impacting vehicle purchases and florists and holiday gifts, and seemingly everything is touched by these scam enterprises. And unfortunately, that doesn't really look like it's going away anytime soon.
Yeah. So for maybe the older population that's out there that might just take one thing away from this today? I mean, what is one thing we can really learn to make sure that this flower scam or other scams like this don't happen to somebody else?
Yeah, one thing I would caution is just to tread a little bit carefully with some of the information that you get online. In this case in particular, this was a florist that claimed to be local, seemingly everywhere, right? So you Google searched, and they didn't provide the information for what they actually searched, but let's say it was, local florist, right? If you see something that doesn't have a local address, that is by definition not local, right? That site is presenting themselves as a local florist, regardless of what city you search for, which is impossible. But you
Right.
could understand why a business would want to appear that way. There are so many local florists who will hear this story and think, I would love to be able to take care of that person. And it's really important that if you are given the choice, to keep that money in your local economy, right? Real
Right.
local florists serve specific geographic areas. They don't serve everywhere nationwide. So one thing I would take away as a consumer hearing this experience is that it's really important to find a local vendor for things as simple as flowers, right? If you
Right.
can keep that money here locally, if you can know definitively that that is a company that has a local storefront, that 402 area code, it is effectively your neighbor, right, that you are purchasing this product from, you will avoid a lot of what is ultimately reported to us. So many of the scams that come through Scam Tracker originate outside of state lines, outside of American lines,
Hmm.
even, right? But if you can use this as an opportunity to think more critically about keeping your money local and shopping with places that are effectively down the street, that is going to be a really good place to start. It's just a way to avoid a lot of the variables that frankly involve scams.
Right. Yeah, good advice there, Josh. Thank you. Anything else that you want to take note of?
On the website in question, I do think it's useful to know that just about every product that was placed on the site had a sale attached to it. And while it's normal to see sales on a lot of different products and steep discounts, professional florists don't discount everything simultaneously. And prices that low suggest that there might be concern about deliverability. There's also a lot of generic stock photography instead of actual shop photos. Most of the florists that I know and I've communicated with have actual photos taken in their shop. They don't have arrangements that look like they were pulled off of, kind of the most generic website imaginable. They want to
Right.
actually show off their shop, their
Hmm.
staff, their
And
real
their skills,
photographical
right?
work.
I mean, yeah, it's really
Yeah,
incredible
yeah,
what the local florists can come up with. And perhaps there's a unique floral arrangement that, we get here in Omaha that you can't really get somewhere else in the country, other side of the country. So, yeah, something to think of there for sure.
fantastic point. Florists want to proudly show their actual work. It's like if you went to a tattoo artist and they took a photo of somebody else's work. That just wouldn't be what an artist would do,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
There's also only a toll-free number. There's no local phone number on the
Right.
website. So that 1-800 number listed, that usually typically goes to a call center, not a local shop. Real local florists will have local area code phone numbers that you can call and visit. So that's something to look for as well.
Yeah, good call there, Josh. Well, thank you so much for your time as usual. Sorry, this one really is a puller of heartstrings, but it's a good reminder to everybody that it's all about the money for scammers. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Thank you for your time,
It
Josh.
is, Stephanie.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a good rest of your day. All right, we just heard from Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau about the latest grandparent scam, a sad one at that. But always double check everything. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. So let's head over to our website, our digital team, working on several stories today. We do have this breaking banner here: measles cases reported in Platte County. This, according to the health department. So we will have more on this story available for you during our 3 p.m. broadcast with our Dave Zavolinsky. In the meantime, we're going to head over to our weather tab for First Alert 6 weather. weather. Here's Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. Current conditions out there mostly cloudy at 35 degrees. Let's take a look at the 3-day though. So Tuesday, 45 should be the high today. Wednesday, 47, loving it. Thursday, we go back down to 34. Uh-oh, it is what it is, I guess. Friday, let me click on actually the weekend. Sorry, walking all around here. Weekend. So Friday, 36 degrees. Saturday, 43, and then Sunday, 50. So I am here for Sunday, but still pretty cold out there as far as I'm concerned. So here's a live look for you at Northeast First National Camera. This is at the river here. At least it's not windy, but you can see some ice floating down the river there. And then here's a much more welcoming image from our Blackstone camera of the sunshine out there. And then again, the sunshine glimmering on the Desert Dome from our Southwest First National camera. So we'll have much more news and weather for you coming up during our 3 p.m. broadcast. So we'll hope to see you then.